found? Oh, look at you.
I bought this phone in December.
What were you using?
No, this nigga was struggling.
No, I had another
There was a point
iPhone,
where he
but
was even tethering with another phone because he was struggling.
So my phone my other iPhone got destroyed. What did I do to it this time?
No, it was just old Sipo. You needed a new one.
Did you have a home button?
It was the XS. No, I didn't have a home button. And then it just keep getting damaged. Water damage, cracked screen. And then something else happened to it didn't have cellular data. I dropped it. And then it only worked via Wi-Fi. And I tried to reset it and it said, stop it. And I took it for repairs. The guys at repairs said, come get your phone. It's over. So for those 2 weeks, I was using a Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, I had an iPhone 8 Plus. They told me that as well. I said, bro.
No, with iPhone, once it's over, it's over.
Yeah,
okay, let's go, gentlemen. Hey now, welcome to another hot episode of the POPcast. My name is Miss Cosmo, as I am every single week. Of course, I'm not rolling alone. I am with my main man, Mochi, for
What's
one
going
baby.
on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode. You nice?
Yes, I'm okay. I mean,
survival.
given the circumstances, it's a little bit of a tricky week. But we're not rolling solo. We do have a guest who is with us today. Chama is Shama, is Shama, is Chama, is the Chama, is the Chama. Are you charming all the ladies? Because it's Valentine's.
No, I don't have a Valentine.
Oh, sorry.
I'm lying. I've got a Valentine.
Okay.
And she's going to have a wonderful day.
Oh.
But anyways, it's Shama is Shama.
Okay,
That's why
Shama is Shama.
It's pronounced the same.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Explain, because there's an S and there's a C.
Okay, well, I was back in varsity days. My dad just got Twitter around the same time as myself, and he was like very keen on finding me and finding the stuff I wrote. And my dad's a religious man, so he's a man of God. So I was like, listen, I want to like tweet lit stuff, So I changed it from an S to a C, so he doesn't find me.
Yeah.
And then at school, at varsity, people would like know me with the C, and then I was like, but that's not my real
That's
name.
not how you spell it.
It's actually with an S. And then someone one day just like, okay, so Shama is Shama, and I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh, and I ran with it. It's not about the ladies. It's not about anything.
Me, I thought Ushama Uya Chama. That's what I thought.
What? I'm terrible with the ladies.
Okay, that's what he says.
You have no evidence. There's no evidence. As far as I know, I'm a great person.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. That actually, now I get it. Because even till today, I still felt like you were just telling us, Guti, you're a Chama boy.
No, not at all.
Okay. Shama is just Shama. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing less.
That's it.
That's it.
Yes.
All right. So something that is, Chama Amba ladies is maybe this venue that we're at today, the Last Alpaca out in Greenside. I'm sure a couple of you have come through, maybe had a couple of sundowners, maybe come through on a Sunday, maybe you just come through on the weekend and enjoyed yourself a cocktail. It's such a vibe. It's such a good energy out here, and I love the fact that they've also got really dope hubli. So this is one of those spots if you want to get something that's doing the right things, because some places the hubli is not 1000%. Here they've got a real one coming through here.
Those are the places I want to go to where the hubli is not 1000%.
Why?
These places with the A1 hubli.
Why?
Come with the people that love hublis. They come with suitcases when they pull up at places. I ain't about that.
No, you don't
In fact,
pull up with
I prefer to go to a place where they say no hubli here.
Yes.
I see a sign outside that says no hubli allowed. I say let's go.
Why?
It's so useless.
I hate hubli. I just
So you promise that you don't smoke it?
because I hate it.
Wait, have you smoked Habli before?
I mean, I've smoked it before, but not like continuously over a period of time or whatever. But I've smoked hubli before, and I'm just
During the pandemic, I tried. It's so useless, bro.
I'm just like, what is
gives
the
you a
point?
headache, ne?
That's it. Headaches. And like, that's it. And sometimes your stomach runs. Why? Come on.
Just smoking just to smoke.
You're having the
it's
wrong
vibes.
hubli. Why are you going to the bathroom?
Maybe that was the 1 hour smoking.
Yeah.
Like also, like pandemic, it was like crazy things moving around, you know? So maybe I was buying from crazy plugs.
Yeah, maybe you were getting the wrong virus also in your hubli. Rocking you in the wrong way.
Yo, I've got trauma from Habli.
Oh goodness, but nonetheless, last Alpaca's got really A grade, Habli. Don't worry. There's none of Shama's things. As you can hear, he's getting it underground. Here it's the real stuff. Come through, check it out. Of course, the cocktails are also really nice. The vibe, the sunlight, it's always so amazing out here, Greenside. But of course, to kind of kick things off and to get ourselves into what has happened this past week. I mean, we didn't have an episode last week because obviously we did POPcast Goes 2, which was really awesome. Cotton Fest. We're going to get into that in a moment.
Yeah.
But we do have to start off by sending our condolences to both families, Keenan Forbes' family as well as to Tebele Motsoane's family. Both lost this past week in Durban. Tragic accident. Obviously, we're still trying to figure out what the details of that are. But I think all we can do right now is just send our heartfelt condolences and our prayers to both families.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Deepest condolences to AKA's family and Tibz' family, whose lives was taken just so violently, so suddenly.
Yeah.
And, it's just, I think when everybody heard the news, it was one thing. And then, of course, the video started circulating and the realness of it and the violence of it has angered a lot of people, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing because now that we've seen it, immediately after hearing about it, people are either try to process their emotions or their anger about what they've seen in the video. And I look, everybody's entitled to their own opinions and, their own conspiracy theories. But I feel like at some point we have to maybe sprinkle a little humanity into these things. You know what I'm saying? And say, what is the point of the things that we're trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a microphone in front of their face now, so they feel like they got to be controversial, got to say something to shake the streets. But there's like actual families and actual friends and actual family, actual fans in mourning. And I feel like we could take a step back right now and maybe not throw so many conspiracies at people, be so incredibly insensitive just because you got a platform to say something. And you know what I'm saying? People are saying that don't really even care. Because if you did, maybe you want to take a step back and hear these things out. And like I said, we don't know the details. We've seen what we've seen, but we don't know the details of how it came, of course, to happen. So I hope things do. One thing I can hope is that, people don't have much hope in the South African Police Service, but we continue to pray and hope that some answers do come from this. The families do get some sort of closure after the fact. And let's send them our condolences, but also let's give them some peace.
Yeah. And I hope we get to the bottom of it purely for that, because the opinions and all the controversies and all the conspiracies, it's like clouding judgment. And I know that it's not supposed to, but we have terrible police. They're going to go on social media, listen to these things, and it's going to influence their things. Yeah. So I want them to just get to the bottom of it quickly.
Yeah. And I think it's also just like, it's so sad. It's traumatic.
It's so traumatic.
For all of us. I mean, it's traumatic to watch the footage. Please don't watch the footage if you haven't seen it.
Yep.
But outside of that, also just to understand how people have lost such important people in the entertainment industry, whether you're a fan, whether you're a friend, whether you're somebody who was there live in person to actually witness it happen. There's nothing more traumatic than hearing a gunshot going off, because you're going to wonder, is that me? Am I going to get hurt? Number one. So it's the trauma of, oh my goodness, my life just flashed before my eyes. Number two, it's also the trauma of, I'm now seeing something happen that I didn't expect to happen. You're losing a friend at the same time. You're losing a star. You're losing somebody that you've looked up to. You're losing somebody who has just regained their life back. I think that's also just the most traumatic part about this whole thing, is that AKA was at such a dark point in his life where he didn't really know where to go, especially after losing Anele, and that was very traumatic for him to go through. He had put in so much work to get himself back to smiling again, to incorporating himself with people again, to being out there, being comfortable to release music, being comfortable to being himself, to being joyful, to showing love, to being in a relationship. Obviously, our love goes out to Nadia and Akai, because those things are such hard things to deal with as a human, having lost somebody, that now you're trying to incorporate yourself back into the world and saying, okay, I'm giving life another chance, and then it's taken from you
in such a violent manner.
Yeah,
no, it's definitely a lot to process. People are seemingly very confused, and I think there's an added layer of trauma that's coming with the fact that we've been dealing with so much loss in the industry for the past year. You know what I'm saying? So even people that I've seen a lot of people say is like, I'm surprised about how much this is affecting me. I've seen a lot of people post that. Like, even people who are saying, I wasn't maybe his biggest fan or anything, but I'm surprised by how much I'm thinking about this, how much, because it just feels so polarizing, because it's just like, how much can actually happen over a short period of time to so many. I'm not saying prominent people don't die or prominent people aren't affected by crime or whatnot, but it is a lot. it's just a lot happening, and everyone is trying to process it. And in the middle of trying to process one thing, another thing seems to happen.
Yeah.
And you don't even know. So I can understand to a certain extent people running away with theories, because now you're like, people are like, nah, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's also good to take a step back and maybe process those things. The reaction that we're having is also maybe coming from the fact that it's other traumas coming together.
It's compounded.
It's compounded, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like, hey man, it's just very, very difficult. So there's no answers that anybody has right now. I feel like because of that, that's maybe a time we should be rethinking what it is that we're actually saying.
Yeah. I think also a difficult part as well that a lot of people are also still dealing with, outside of obviously the information that we're getting is that the hit was obviously on Keenan Forbes. It's also very difficult for people on Tibz' side to understand it, because he was literally just there for something completely different. He was there to celebrate a friend's 40th birthday. He was in Durban, something completely outside, and he was actually just coincidentally
bumping into him outside
in the restaurant next to where he was. And I think that's also just like the biggest mindfuck that everyone's trying to deal with, is that like he didn't have to be there. He was just greeting, and he was just hugging and saying, yo, what's up, man, showing love. And at that point, and I think it's also just, I can't even call it poetic justice, it's poetic trauma or tragedy, because Tibz is also the person who pushed AKA to be who he is. And man, I don't know, for them to go out together, like I said, poetically I understand it, but it's also just like, it's so heartbreaking, man. Like, it's so not like that.
It is. And now we can delve into trauma and everything, but it's so confusing and it seems so unreal. Like even right now, like it seems deeply like we're in some weird ass dream.
But I think that's why everyone's going crazy, because everyone's trying to get answers. When prominent figures die, it shows a bigger reality. It shows that like there's much more happening in the streets, because we tend to ignore it because we don't hear about it. We don't hear about murders. We don't hear about hits. It's a daily thing. But once a prominent person goes through that, you realize that that is actually what's happening. Yeah. And then people want answers because we're like, what's going on around us? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not on Twitter like bashing people. Like, trauma makes people do weird things. Yeah. You know? And like the one, Nota, he's traumatized. Yeah. He left things at a very bad place. Then Keenan all of a sudden is taken away suddenly. He's trying to like rectify things, and he has mental health. He's going through too much. You know, way too much, and he's causing a stir with people going through the same things. Yeah,
I think it's best also just to kind of understand that at some point there's some things that you pay attention to and some things that you don't. And I really urge the police, and I urge anybody who's kind of dealing with this case to just look at the facts and stop listening to people who are trying to create theories or whatever the case may be, because I think people are creating theories because they just want answers and because they just want to have closure. Nobody's going to get closure at this point in time. Let the police do their job. That's what they're there for. That's what they need to get to the bottom of. And with something as big as this, it does kind of spark a question of what is going to get solved. Sometimes we also need to poke the bear a little bit and say, is our government, is our police force going to go to the ends of justice and trying to, fix this thing? Because there's been so many outstanding cases that are now making us kind of lose hope in the justice system. I mean, Senzo Mayua's case is still happening now, and he passed away so many years ago. DJ Somebody recently, we've just had to, deal with his trauma, which happened 2 months ago. Still no answers, no follow-ups, no leads on that. Vusima 5 Randa also was somebody that we had to pay homage to the last episode about 2 weeks back. This is now happening now. And all we just hope for is that they're actually going to put the work in and give us answers. This thing of just letting things fizzle out is also not what we need.
But I think, again, that's why people have a lot of conspiracies. Because it's bigger than what just happened. It's about what's going to happen. And if it is true, like there is a bigger person involved, that case is not going to go anywhere. And that's the reality of South Africa. That's why we don't hear about things being solved. And that's why there's so much noise on Twitter. And it's like we're in a weird situation. Like, are they going to take the celebrity side, or are they going to take the prominent person involved? It's such a dilemma.
Yeah, no, it's so much going on, man. But hopefully we'll get some answers soon. Yeah. Maybe the police will give us some more information soon, and I don't know, maybe some closure can start, or a case can start to be built, and maybe some sort of trust gained from people actually seeing these things and saying, surely you can't just go around killing people and getting away with it. And then everybody just moves on. Because it's
Yeah.
conspiracy theories. I mean, like you're saying, with Senzo here, it's 7-8 years later.
Yeah.
To this day, it can trend at any given time. You know what I'm saying? Any given week when someone sparks the conversation again, it's a new topic. You know what I'm saying? So we want to live in perpetual conspiracy theory hell. You know what I'm saying? With the same thing over and over again.
and over.
Because at any given time, someone can just whisper something and be like, let's go with this theory for a while. And let's see how much we can ruin this person's life. You know what I mean?
And remember, more than ever, social media has been like accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Even in villages, people are like hearing and having things.
Even people in jail are on social media.
Did you see that other guy who made the video, the rapper with the raspy voice?
No.
He made a video. Yo, shout out to AKA.
I haven't seen
From jail, he made a
From
reel.
jail?
From jail. Yeah, yo, homage, whatever. And I'm like, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe I'll show you guys. You know,
Yeah.
we'll try to find it. But that was crazy, like
Yeah.
from jail.
But anyway, guys in jail have like Bluetooth speakers, they be having cell phones. It's really out of
I got a
control.
homie calls me like weekly. I can Uber Eats him, go.
To jail, please. I don't know about Uber Eats, maybe.
I'm telling you.
I don't know about all of that.
Shamar's views are his own.
Oh goodness! But we do want to, you know, just show some love and obviously just some, you know, just share some memories that we have of the Super Mega as well as even with Tibz. I'm sure, obviously, with you, Shama, working in the club space, you've had a couple of memories or some moments where you've seen AKA perform a couple of times. Maybe one of your favorite times that you've seen him perform out of the club?
So we did AKA's gold celebration
Yeah.
at Onyx.
Yeah.
I think it was 2018 or 19. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I think they sold about 200 champagne bottles in that night.
Really?
And that was all like...
That was gold for Touch My Blood, ne?
Touch My Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the craziest thing. Like, he had like 50 people like squashing in the club. And if you guys know Onyx, you know it's small.
Yeah.
So you had like people squeezing with the phones out, like, and he was sweating and he was going off, and there was just champagne after champagne after champagne. And my boss at the time, I've never seen him smile so much. He was like, listen.
Grinning.
Oh, they bought us all sneakers, gave us cash like, the next week. And that was super mega.
Shout
That's when
out.
we knew that he was a superstar. That thing was so big that they had to give him the tour. They had to say like, bro, again.
Okay, please.
And again. And
make
again.
us more.
We did the platinum as well. Crazy.
Oh, shout out.
And that was AK's real superstar status.
Shout outs, man.
Absolutely.
Gucci?
Actually, one of my favorite memories of seeing him perform, because he was a showstopper performer, was actually, I don't like seeing people perform in the club. Clubs for me is like strictly DJs, because a lot of them don't have a great sound to accommodate artists. You know what I'm saying? Half the time they'll have great speakers, but when time for an artist to jump on stage, it's not a great environment for them. Artists themselves tend to shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? Performing in clubs. But I remember, and I don't know if you were there, Shama, but it was at Haram, and it was when AKA had dropped that song, "Baby Don't Waste No Time." Understand?
Yes.
You know that little
I was
thing.
and Master A Flats was there as
Yeah,
well.
and they did an entire performance of that single dropping, and of course he performed other songs. But it was suit and tie at Haram.
Yes.
I remember that time he was still dating Bonang. She was there. It was feeling very elegant,
Yeah.
because you know, even like, Bonang doesn't just come to clubs as well. You know what I'm saying? So that time there was a nice space where they were at. At some point he was performing just for her in the sake. You know what I'm saying? And then he performed inside the crowd, and he had like just hugging guys, and they were performing. I remember when he did the song he has with MT, the re-up, the re-up remix, and he let everybody else sing like WizKid's parts and whatever. So I remember that moment and thinking, this is such a very well curated club performance for somebody who needs the right sound. And I know they had to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, A, B, and C is taken care of. I'm not just going to jump on stage. He had his band there, and Haram felt big that day. You know what I'm saying? Because now it wasn't, if you remember, the space of it wasn't particularly huge or anything. So that was a very, very special performance. I remember I was wearing suit and tie. That was one of the 3 months in my life I worked at a club. People thought I worked at the club permanently.
I won't lie. At some point, I was also like, oh, Sipo, you too, bro? I did.
He hated it. Let me tell you.
Yo, I hated it.
And he hated it on Tuesday meetings. That's where you saw the hate. He was like,
It's like, why am I here?
Do you remember even he got exempt from them because he was like, listen, I don't want to come to
Why is this happening to me?
We have meetings on a group. That's when I started going deep yesterday, hey, man. Just book the guy.
But let me tell you something you just mentioned. So, Roll Up.
Yeah.
I think MT's first performance at Kong. This is like 2014, 2014. Sorry, this was 2014. MT performed Roll Up. It was like so hyped because AK was hyping it.
Yeah.
And when MT performed, it was his first Kong performance. When AK performed, when MT performed, AK came to the crowd. He was like inside, like one of the guys in the front, watching the entire performance.
Yeah.
And that's when he decided to do the remix.
Oh, that's so dope.
Bro.
And that's what I love about him is that he was like a lover of hip hop. He was a fan of this music, and that's why he was willing to do the features for people like Costa Titch, for MT. He did a feature for Benny Chill, because for him, he's just like, yo, I think you're so dope. The culture, you are what I envision when I look at South African hip hop, and that's why he would jump on so many people's features, which was really awesome. For me, I think my possible moment that I would possibly have with him, Sipo and I were actually laughing about this with my Easy Does It when I went through my video vixen phase. Remember I had mentioned to you, I'd mentioned that the first video that I did was my Easy Does It with Ukoko. Fast forward, I had done like maybe 2 or 3 other music videos. Just feature, cameo vibes there, what
top
up.
10 on these
Miss
videos.
Cosmo. No, there's only 5. Please relax.
Yeah, but five
It's a lot. I know. To be fair, I was a DJ. I was doing a cameo for the homies. Come on. Why is it okay for the guys to do it, but I can't do it? So anyway, now we're chilling in the club. We were actually at Taboo at the time, chilling in the club, and I'm with Dream Team, AKAs. They were all like in a section, they by the DJ box, whatever. And obviously we're just like laughing, whatever, hanging out. And he's like, yo, you've been on everybody's music video except mine. Nah, we need to fix that. So I was like, not another video. And I was like, I had gotten to my point where I'm like, I've reached my peak. I've done my threshold of music videos, singing cringe. And he was like, no, come on, we're shooting tomorrow, we're doing the music video, come through, whatever. So then I was like, So now I feel guilty because I said yes to him in the club. The next day, I'm like, do I really want to go? And mind you, it was gloomy. It was like a little bit like overcast. So already the weather's telling me, you're not waking up. And I was like hungover. It's a Monday. I'm like, why the hell are we shooting on a Monday? So eventually I'm like, okay, let me get myself up because I promised him that I was going to be there. Okay, fine. I get up. Then it's all eyes on me. There's Bernard doing his thing. No. I can't say the words, whatever.
Was Bernard at the thing? What's
was there.
What's this theory about Bernard shot this in Nigeria? You remember these people used to be like, didn't shoot it in the same house. You see these conspiracy theories that get
Don't ever trust social media. Don't ever
people just wake up in the morning like, I don't think Bernard was in that house.
And people have evidence, eh?
And they'll be like, if you look at it in this angle, they're in 2 different houses. I'm just like, I make sure you're not going to do this.
No, guys, Bernard was there, okay? He was definitely in the same house. Also, remember, Bernard was living in South Africa at that time.
Yeah.
So he was definitely at that house. And that's how I got into the music video, was because I was, because I had done so many. AK was like, you need to. And I won't lie to you, because that's one of his biggest songs, I'm appreciative of the fact that I actually got there. Now I can sit back and be like, that one was worth it.
That was a great way to go out.
That one was a good one. Shout out.
So that was number 5.
That was the last one. That was a very last.
But you're saying if I shoot a music video tomorrow, you won't come.
No, not gonna make it. But shout out to you, brother. The next music video will be my own, for my own music. That's how it rolls. You know what I mean? Nice. But also a big shout out also to Tibz. Tibz is the person who actually put me on. When I first started DJing, he's the only person who said, "Oh, I heard you're a DJ now. Let me give you a residency." And I was definitely Devin Julying the fuck out of all of those mixes. It was bad. But Tibz believed in me, and he was like, you know what? I like your song selection. I can see, you're dedicated. Just try a little harder. If it wasn't for his motivation, I probably wouldn't have continued the way that I did. And because of the residency that I had at my bar, because Tibz put me on, was somebody recognized me there and got me onto YFM. So shout outs to Tibz, man. Yeah.
I know, man. I guess what definitely left with the memories. They could have done. I mean, I don't know if there's any sort of solace to be taken on the fact that they both did so much. If you know both of them, I mean, of course, most people know AKA the most, but to all the people in the industry that know Tibz and what he did locally for so many people, a lot of them who've been speaking out, like Miss Cosmo herself, then you know that they did so much and they literally carved their own way. And you can say, or they definitely had a lot of life to live, but the life that they did live, they lived to the fullest.
Yeah.
And they absolutely maximized on all their talents, all their opportunities, and they could have only done so much more had they been allowed to be around here. But we're left with so many dope memories. I'm sure we can sit here and talk all afternoon about so many different AKA moments, the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? I like what Slicker said the other day, is like he was equally as much as he said all the right stuff when he needed to and did all this music, even when he was wrong. At some point he would maybe even had to acknowledge how wrong he was, but he was both those people. He was the guy that would wouldn't back down from his own opinions and stood to them even when he was wrong. And if things didn't work out, then he took his L but still kept pushing. He was never like you know what I'm saying, muted, or you never didn't know what he was thinking. At the very least, he was always honest. He was always himself. So the good and the bad, both people have. Yeah, you knew what you got with him. So at the very least, you can tell that he was never somebody that you doubted. Ooh, where do I stand with this guy? Or where does he stand on certain topics? You can almost tell, and he would be very vocal to say, hey, I don't like what I don't like, and I like what I like.
Shout outs, man. Shout outs, man. All right, so moving on to two other people that we're also going to be celebrating this month, and also just remembering, but also the events also made a return. Obviously, Cotton Fest was this past week, but Pop Bottles is also making a return. Nice. So Pop Bottles is going to be making a return in March. So obviously that's paying homage to the homie DJ Dimples. But we also paid homage to Ricky Rick. And of course, you watched that Popcast Goes To, which we had this past week. And how did you guys enjoy Cotton Fest? Was the energy different for you guys, or was the vibe different, or was it just, what you remember it to be?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't go this year. I had some fatherly commitments.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a
Our
dad
daddy
now.
Shima.
Priorities.
I am a dad now. You've been a dad, bro.
Yo, 3 years almost.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Cotton Fest this year was dope. Last year I didn't go. So it was good to make a return this year to go and see what the vibe is like. I know Ricky wasn't there, of course, last year because it happened just before. But it was good to go this year and to see that the energy is right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't lose any of its momentum. It didn't feel like there was something missing. You know what I'm saying? Like his spirit and his energy and what he curated and always wanted that thing to be is growing into exactly that. All these people still show up for him. You know what I'm saying? The fans are still about it. They're still cotton eaters. I felt underdressed. I got there. I was like, hey.
Sipo just came from a braai. I'm sure he was just like, I look like Bryce Sipo.
I was just like, I'm just wearing cargo pants and a t-shirt. The kids are probably thinking, do you want to be here, my brother?
I'm sure he's thinking, I have colorful pants that I should have rather worn.
Absolutely.
But the cotton eaters are going far now, bro.
Yeah.
Like the shoes are too big. The pants are like, bro, they're going hard.
Those misfit boots.
You see them?
The red one.
Bro.
I want those. Those big.
You know what? I think they would suit you, actually.
I actually
you
want
could rock
them. No, I really want
if
them.
I was wearing them, people would be like, old man.
I'm going to wait for the black ones. I'm going to wait for the black ones.
No, come on. You have to get like the big. The whole point is because they're colorful. You need to get the big ones to say the drip is forever. You must get the red ones.
The problem is, like, did you see that guy on Twitter who wore it with the green jacket and the white with the low belt? How do you pronounce that before you guys murder me?
Figure belt.
Figure belts.
No, it's the brand is called Low. Is it Low?
LOE.
That one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's low.
Yeah, so he had that with the bell bottoms and you know the t-shirt that doesn't go past his belts. Like you have to go hard like that with those kind of shoes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's certain think about this fashion stuff, right?
This fashion stuff.
You like ostracize yourself from it.
The thing about this fashion industry is that you mustn't half step. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when someone is half stepping when they want to be inventive, but you didn't come all the way through.
Facts.
Like you just chose the top, and then you're wearing the boring ass pants and the same cap and whatever. Like you're trying to be inventive, but you stopped halfway through. If you're gonna do it, you must do it. When someone is all in, I respect that because they're like, I'm presenting to you a character, a
like
part
Sam
of myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Go all the way. Yeah. If he had came but he was wearing Air Force Ones, you'd be like, Sam Smith, you didn't commit.
You didn't commit.
What they were wearing. You must get the pronouns right.
What they were wearing. Sorry, yes. So it's very important that if you're gonna be about it, be about it. Because especially if you're not used to being in that in that space and you're trying to like experiment, the people in that space that are really about it. I can see you from what do you call this? I can see you coming a mile away. This guy is he's a poser.
Like who's this guy? Diddy Monster. Did you see his outfit?
Yes.
That is like if you're gonna eat fashion. reaction, bro.
Do you know?
Go in.
The thing is, I saw him from the back, because he was at the bar. So when I walked in, I was like, that lady's tall. And I was like, okay. And then I just walked by and I didn't bother. I think I saw him when I walked past again, and I saw him coming from the other side. I saw him from the front. I was like, oh shit, that was you. I even said to him, I was like, yo, I definitely didn't have it was because I saw him from the back with the curlers and the big skirt and the backpack. I was like, there's a lot happening, but okay, sharp. I had no idea until I saw him. I was like, yo, I like the fact that he always goes all the way out.
He goes all the way.
I know, it doesn't hold back. I went to go greet him as well, and I'm thinking, the thing about it, right, when somebody's dressed like that, is that you want to say something, but I was like, he's not my homie that way. So then greeting them, I'm like, what would I even say? But I feel like there's something to talk about right now.
You have to say it.
And also, not only does he dress that way, but he also speaks in his own vernacular.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he's greeting me, he's like, yo, what's the... I'm like... I don't know what the guy is.
Sometimes when I don't understand him, I'm always just like, yeah, sure. And then I walk away because I'm like, what is happening?
Immediately. I greeted him, I was like, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's the guy? And then he said something else, and I was like, I'm easy, my boy. We out here. You know what it is. Cotton Fest 2023.
I found a little way to decipher his language, you know? Because for years I've been talking to him. So you just take the first few vowels. So he'll be like, what's the storyolis? Then I'm like, hey, what's the story? You know? I'll try to put it together like that.
Just the first three, you'll
you know what I mean?
Out,
the rest, just kind of let it go.
Just gotta keep moving. Shout out to
just assume it's always positive because he's a positive guy.
Yeah.
He is. He likes to have a
Great
good time. He
vibe,
actually
bro.
inject energy into it. So whatever he's saying, just respond positively as well.
Trust
Yes.
me.
Then you'll be on the same. If he says, what's the guy? He must be like, it's the vibe.
That's it.
Papa. He's like, yeah, we're in it now, boy.
That's
Because
it.
he has no bad vibes. He's pure good
Oh
Yes.
man,
bro.
he's amazing, man. Shout out to TD Monster, man. And of course, our drip check episode's also going to be dropping this week. So make sure that you check it out. POPcast goes to Cotton Fest. Of course, the drip was dripping. Also, what happened at Cotton Fest was Costa Titch had a surprise guest. And out came Akon, who obviously did a feature on Big Flexer, because I think he had posted a YouTube video, or like a I don't know, there was a video that was going viral on social media about Akon showing love to Costa Titch.
He was on a podcast.
Yes, he was on a podcast. He's like, yo, have you checked out Costa Titch? And I was like,
Yo, that brother from Africa's crazy.
And it was the most left field person you would think about of all the people on the planet that would like tap into a young African artist who's making waves. You didn't think,
bro, he took
you
out
think, if
his
you asked me
phone.
to guess, I would give, if you give me 100 guesses, I would be 100 of them, none of them would be Akon.
But
I'm saying, because I'm like, where's Akon been?
But you know what? It makes sense for me, because Akon, number one, he's always been a pioneer for African music, African business, African shining a light on whatever's happening on Africa. So he's always kind of been that ambassador in the States to say, yo, this is what Africa's doing, paying attention to this. And for him to be on a podcast like that and to kind of say, because they're going to ask him, because he's the Africa guy, yo, Africa's blowing up right now. What are we going to look out for? And he's going to say, yo, that Costa. But also, it's because Costa's got such big numbers on Big Flexer. It's hard to miss.
You know
what? You can't miss Big Flexer because the numbers are enormous. I think it's on like 40 million, if I'm not mistaken. It's big.
It's madness.
It's madness. That video is doing numbers.
He's beating trap guys from America.
Hey, my brother.
Crazy.
So I'm just saying, yo, shout out to the team for what they're doing. They're obviously getting him out there. He's constantly traveling. He was in Turkey. He was in Australia. He does so many big things. So they're obviously doing something right. And now they've signed a global partnership with Titch Gang, as well as with Convict Music. So shout outs. I can only just wish to see, or hope to see, what else they're going to kind of build with this, and see other African artists that they're going to build with this partnership, you know?
And you know what I like about Costa? He's good at branding.
Yeah.
Like, he's great at positioning himself as what he is. And that's why Akon picked up on him.
Yeah.
Like, when you go through his stuff, he looks like an international artist. And
yeah.
that's dope.
Big ups.
Nah,
big
shout
ups.
out to him, man. Definitely. Like I said, I don't know where Akon was, but I mean, Akon is still out here doing a lot of work. You know, so it's definitely a good thing for Costa. I mean, for Costa Titch to get put on by some. And there's a deal that they struck.
Yeah.
Convict Records and
Titch
Gang,
gang,
records. Apparently, there's some collaborative effort that they're going to make to try and elevate this relationship to, I guess, what we'll see it grow into be. So whatever that will be, I'm guessing it'll be great for Costa, his team, and whoever is around Costa, because he does roll with a few other guys he collaborates
Alpha
with.
Cat.
Alpha Cat, must be Dubs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for the entire crew, I know there must be excitement to the people around them. They all came up together and still pushing together. So it can only be positive for him and his people and everybody else that they're going to put on. So it'll be very interesting to see exactly where they take it and what comes of it. But I'd like to assume that it'll only be positive.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
Talking about collaborations, there's also just a lot more international collaborations with South African entities as well. As we've seen that Zaire Wade is now going to be signed to the Cape Town Tigers. Of all the teams that he could have chosen throughout the world, they had said, no, you know what? You're going to be part of the BAL and you are going to sign to the Cape Town Tigers, and this is the team that you're going to join. And you can imagine the legacy that has been built with his father, and obviously for him to be getting into basketball, people are going to be watching for this.
Yeah, so Zaire, interesting fact.
Yeah.
That is the previous name of Congo, because I'm Congolese,
Yes.
DRC. So it used to be called Zaire during Mobutu's time. So there's a lot of mythology around how he got the name, because like it's all over the place. I mean, Wikipedia says one thing, the books say another thing, and the people say another thing. So apparently, Mobutu, because he was a very evil guy, so apparently he used to have a mermaid, and his mermaid's name was Zaire. Because you can't be that powerful and obviously not have some sort of spiritual. Yeah, big time. So you guys know what's the show that's going around that's trending here?
Kings of Joburg.
There we go.
The bazookas.
So when I watched that, I was a bit
The bazookas.
triggered.
My thing is, I wonder if Dwayne Wade knows this.
I really wonder if he knows this.
I wonder where they're picking up Zaire from.
Because when I was like, oh, you named him Zaire? Great.
Oh, okay.
They're going to tell you it's waters of Africa. They won't tell you.
Yeah, read a passage somewhere.
They won't tell you about the real mermaid.
They won't tell you why they named the Congo River Zaire River. They're not going to tell you.
Is that why they changed the name to Congo?
Yes, because of the association with Mobutu. They wanted to move into the democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Also, just before we move on, can you also just explain for those who don't know? Obviously, there is the Republic of Congo, and then there's the Democratic.
There's the DRC, and then
yes.
there's the Congo.
Yes. So what's the
Yes.
difference with the two?
So one of them broke away. They wanted their own independence from the bigger nation.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're all the same.
Ah.
Like, we don't really consider them like,
Separate.
separate. It's
Yeah.
just by law and by borders,
Yeah.
everything is separated. But the guys from Brazzaville are in Congo, the guys from Congo are in,
Ah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, going back to the collaboration, as I mentioned, Zaire Wade is going to be joining the Cape Town Tigers, so he's going to be in the BAL as opposed to being in the NBA. How you guys feel about that and that choice or that selection? You sports guys.
I didn't expect it at all because, I mean, there's a lot of sons of NBA superstars right now that are poised to go into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's waiting for like LeBron's kids to eventually get into the NBA and see what that'll be like. Pippin's kids already, his older son actually had a little stint with the Lakers very recently. And now, of course, people are looking at Wade's kids. There's little Shaquille O'Neal's kids who are also either in college ready to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of superstars kids who are including all the ones that are already in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of buzz about people like Bo Zaire. The BAL locally, we know that there's been a lot of investment in African basketball over the last few years. You know what I'm saying? NBA opening offices this side, stores, literally trying to invest in more African football, African ball. So I'm not surprised at the interest. And if you look at the Cape Town Tigers, they actually signed a few other guys that are trained in America and in Europe. So there's a guy, Zaire is not the only one, it's just the most famous one, but there's guys out there who are kind of like of equal stature from around the world in Europe and whatnot that are also part of the team. So I'm on that aspect, I'm not too surprised. I guess with Zaire, it's one of those things of thinking about why is he not going to the NBA versus coming to the BAL. And the NBA is that competitive. So, it's not like a guarantee just because you're Mang San to get in there. You actually have to be picked. And a lot of guys sometimes spend some time playing in Europe and hoping to get interest of NBA teams and getting drafted. It's not just the original draft when they're 18 years old or 19 when they're fresh out of when they're sophomores in university. So some guys do have to put in extra work and go and press and maybe only get to the NBA at the age of 21, 22. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Antetokounmpo.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't play for any prominent universities or anything like that. He took a chance of there's many other scouting options to get yourself into the NBA. So who knows what Zaire is trying to do? Is maybe he's trying to come out here. One thing that you must do is continue playing.
Yeah.
So if certain places aren't working out for you, maybe you try and you heard about Cape Town. I'm sure they did their research, find out that it is a competitive league. Maybe he gets an opportunity to shine. He gets an opportunity to make his name out here, and hopefully maybe that can inspire him to somehow redivert back to the NBA. So we'll see what happens with it.
You see, and that's my problem with his move to here. Like, it's all about him and has nothing to do with what's happening with our league. Because Zaire is not gonna one man come and make all of the players better.
But that's what they do. That's the general talkability when it comes to one player, and that's what I sometimes kind of irk a little bit with regards to the media that's surrounded by basketball, is that they always say, oh, this one person is joining this team needs to now change because that person is there. That happened to LeBron when he went to the Cavs. It happened to him when he went to the Lakers. And it's always like you're waiting for this one person to kind of revive a team, and it's like, but it's a team sport. It's not a one-man sport.
100%. And also remember that the players LeBron is joining versus the players Wade's son is joining, I mean, totally different, because he's dealing with professionals. He's dealing with semi-professionals.
Yeah.
You know, and what I think they need to do more is they need to invest more in the sport. Like, I know it cost money. I know they were going to make some sort of money to bring that guy in. Why was that money not directed into developing the sport? Because that guy coming here is going to be costly. It's purely because he's Wade's son, not because he has any great ability. He would not be playing in SA if he was any good. Right?
Wow.
He'll be going to Europe. He'll be going to Asia. You know, there's great leagues all over those places.
What if he's choosing to be here?
Yeah, I think he's choosing to be here on a money basis. And for me, I feel like our government.
Have you seen him play?
I haven't.
Okay, so then so you can't talk him down like that.
The money thing, I wouldn't so much be about that, because, like I said, I was mentioning the other players that are going to come this side. Like, Zaire is the most famous one, but the other players that are being drafted from like colleges that have been drafted from colleges in America that are down here to play in the BAL. I'm saying the BAL, as it's growing, they're trying to get the league to be competitive. You know what I'm saying? So generally, they're trying to inject people that have skill and international stature so that everybody else locally who is playing in the league, you know what I'm saying, it uplifts the skill set of everybody else and say, oh, yo, this guy is going to be here rolling with us. We know we got to compete now at a bit of a high level so that we can get seen as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take. He may be, whatever selfish lesions he may have, which every sports star is allowed to have a little bit. But I understand we're not a very famous international broadcasted league. So he'd be losing more than coming here than he would be gaining on a personal level versus going to Europe if those are options for him, or staying in America even for whatever other reason. So it's a give and take. I would like to find out more. I don't think they've released any press statement to it, but the eyes being on South Africa means that maybe more eyes around it will increase sponsorship, will increase interest, and if there's more eyeballs, then maybe there'll be more money circulating.
Like Tottenham Spurs.
You know what I'm saying? No. Yeah, that's
like
another
Ronaldo in that Qatar league, like Ronaldo, wherever
similar to
Yes.
things like that. So in order to wake up a certain interest in certain things, sometimes having somebody famous there suddenly draws people's eyes to it, to be like, why is Dwayne Wade's son playing basketball? South Africans who have no interest in basketball suddenly have a slight interest.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I'll watch a game or two to see what's going on, especially when Dwayne Wade comes down here to watch games in Cape Town. Then suddenly people will be filling up the arenas there, and they'll be going from maybe they're 30-50% capacity to suddenly filling up those places. So immediately it draws some spotlight on South African basketball, and maybe that's the positive that we can look at, maybe.
Okay.
But you see, that's still a maybe for me.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. Whereas if you invest in grassroots development, you have higher guarantees. I like that they're investing a bunch of players. That makes more sense, you know, because you're going to boost the league in general. But the focus of one player who's not really even that good. Like, if they
Have
really
you seen him play, Shama?
Look, I'm so sorry for the harsh criticism, but if he was any good,
if
he was any good.
Hey man, the NBA is not easy. The NBA has a total roster of players of less than 500.
Understood, and you guys are obviously being critical, and it makes sense. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's obviously got a foot in a little bit more, because his dad can then say, okay, check him out. This is what I've worked with him on, and he's got a better chance than anybody else to kind of making it. That's why I'm saying maybe this is a choice.
I look at it
Just like Ronaldo's making a choice to go to Saudi Arabia.
Have you watched Ronaldo play in the Saudi Arabia League?
No.
He's terrible. I think he scored like 2 goals. And he's playing against like farmers and stuff. And that's my problem. My problem is that like instead of developing the league, the money you're paying Ronaldo, if you put that into the league, right, at grassroots level, you create 300 potential good players.
Okay.
You buy one expensive player who's like not even that good anymore, and then you go and you waste so much money. The marketing exercise is still a gamble. You watch Saudi Arabia play you watch like 1 or 2 games, you saw a few things on Twitter. You're not watching every week to watch Ronaldo, you know?
Yeah.
But then he's not filling out the stadiums. Because like the move is not a move forward for the sport.
Okay, so do you think South Africa should have invested in Tottenham Spurs, or do you think we should have rather put that into Eskom?
Because guys, they told you guys the sports money is not the same. The tourism money is not the same as the electricity money.
Yo, look, the Tottenham one, and it's again like the Tottenham move. I mean, it's R1 billion. I mean, you put R1 billion into the PSL. Wow. Wow. Not visit South Africa. Like we have Amapiano carrying the flag for us like that. You know, like it's like put R1 billion into developing more Amapiano stars or whatever it is.
Yes.
Like the moves don't make sense. Where the money is going for me, it doesn't make sense.
You're right, actually, especially from an entertainment perspective. Rather put the money into Foka and his team, Major League.
Right. Look, guys,
Maporisa and friends, all of them.
Look, I understand all that, but if we're gonna just to touch on the whole tourism thing, and I completely understand and agree on what a stage right now in South Africa where we're like, we only want to hear about money being used to uplift the society right now. You know what I'm saying? We're in such a bad state that if you hear, but we know that money in the fiscal budget gets used for many different things. Yeah. So money comes in the country, money goes out the country, because that's just how you run a country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't just say, until we fix the Eskom, wasn't spend money on anything, our economy will collapse. You know what I'm saying? We can't not import, don't export until we fix Eskom. So that's not how things work. And the mandate of SA Tourism, unfortunately, is to advertise South Africa for people outside. Yeah. That's what they're so that's what they constantly try and do, is make South Africa attractive outside of South Africa.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You're a Man U fan.
Yeah.
Man U also has a visit. What do they have
Rwanda.
Rwanda? No, that's
No,
Arsenal. Arsenal has visit Rwanda. What does Man United have?
We don't have a tourism visit thing. I mean, our team
as an Arsenal fan, it says visit Rwanda.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever wanted to book a flight to go to Rwanda.
Me,
Does it work?
That one worked on me though, I'm not gonna lie.
Me, I thought it was like donate.
Did it work on you?
Donate to
really?
Rwanda.
Yeah, I went to check out like
You looked at your arm and you said, I'm booking a flight.
Well, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I looked at the visit to Rwanda and I went to like check out Rwanda, and wow. But here's
because you saw it on the sleeve of a sweater.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Rwanda because of that advert. But here's my thing: like Rwanda's doing a lot to develop their country. You know,
100%. I just don't think that was the thing to make me want to go. I would much rather go to Rwanda because other people are telling me about it and they're saying this is what you can experience. By all means, you see now you're telling me they're developing the country, they've got new technologies, they're working on this, that, and the next thing. Yeah. I will then now spend my money because you've sold it to me.
Yes,
I don't know if the patch on my Arsenal t-shirt is the one that's going to tell me I must go there.
No, but listen to that.
It sparked my curiosity.
Exactly. Okay. So you've been talking about Rwanda if you haven't seen that. Nobody would ever say anything about
I only
Rwanda.
Paid attention because Tottenham Hotspurs is now taking R1 billion of our Eskom money. It's my layer too.
So everywhere, so that's the whole, and of course they chose the UK because that's our biggest tourist in this country. You know what I'm saying? That most visits South Africa. That's the country with the number one. So they're trying to resell South Africa to tell the UK market to come this side. But it's a simple thing like that. The investment on paper, everything that they're saying is actually very, very logical. Yeah. And it's not an outlandish deal to do at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when you think about it, especially to them, because they're like, why are these guys tripping over 40 million pounds? Yeah. This country is at, they're about to burn this country to the ground for 40 million pounds. They're like, things are bad that side.
They're like, things are really
We're saying R1 billion. They're saying 40 million pounds. Things are bad.
40 million pounds. And they're like, that's just another player.
They're buying 21-year-olds from other clubs for 40 million.
Exactly. I'm saying YouTubers have been watching, they're like, maybe we can gather this money, but this country is tripping.
To be fair, I am being facetious. Obviously, I understand that certain budgets have to go to certain things, and I get it. Tourism has to spend money to bring money back. Maybe for me, I think it's just the timing of it all. Maybe I also think it's also just like, I get it, and I understand why they need to do it. I understand the necessity. For me, I'm just like, okay, they could have just waited a little bit longer.
And that's
maybe
the
it's just
issue.
the timing that I have an issue with. By all means, get more people to come to South Africa so that we can have more money. But yeah,
But
I
what
don't
are
know.
they coming to?
They're coming to our Grammy winners, Zakes Pantwini, Nomklebo, and
Then I
Vota,
ran to say, where's the six?
because we have another. We have more
Where's this
Grammys.
Grammy award?
Have you seen this guy Sykes?
Where's this attitude, bro?
Yeah, so maybe they're just coming here to see, you know, the Grammy winners. Maybe they're gonna want to see, you know, Zakes, Nomklebo, and we have to say shine because we now have another Grammy in South A. You know,
Yes, sir.
big ups to them. But also a little bit of a, you know, I think we're all patriotic and we're all saying, yo, shout outs to Zakes. I will gladly say shout outs to Voter, shout outs to Nomklebo. But over last,
Yo, it's a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a
are you
tough one at all.
struggling?
I'm struggling to comprehend it.
Yeah, it's not tough for me at all. It's pretty easy. This is last.
Yeah.
yeah. Last. I mean, congratulations to Zakes. I mean,
Shout out.
I'm sure he was like, hey, let's
I mean,
go.
a win is a win. But
Yeah.
Yes. I think they were also shocked to win, if I have to be honest.
yeah, when you got that SMS, you must have been like, wow.
SMS, he was there. What do you mean?
Don't they tell them before? Like, if
No,
you give me a speech and things.
they tell them that they've been nominated, and all they can do, because obviously like they've got the whole lead up, and that's why he was doing all the interviews, and he even had the medal and the picture to say that he was nominated, because I think for him in his head this is as far as it's going. It's the medal, I'm nominated, I'm doing the PR, I'm doing everything else. I don't think I'm going to win this, because realistically Burna Boy is Burna Boy. So let me take what I can out of this Grammy pre-run, and then we'll see what happens on the night. But I'm okay with not winning because it's Burna Boy. And I think that's why they were so shocked when they got on stage, because they were like, we didn't think we were going to take this, but shout outs. And we can also say shout outs for taking it, but Burna?
Okay, as someone in the music industry, how did that happen?
I don't know.
You know what? Those
You're as
Grammy-
close as we can.
If Zakes doesn't know, how am I going to know?
the Grammys be weird and stuff, especially with this Global African Artist Award. And,
But
you know
he
what I'm
won
saying?
one already.
And that's what I'm saying. They looked at him like, didn't we give this guy a Grammy already? I'm sure we gave this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did they
Vota,
say-
no,
Let's try the other
Vota's on the
Africans.
second one.
Yeah, come on, let's give the other Africans a chance. Man. Can't just give the same guy twice. They look at it, those Americans are like, nah, we gave this guy already.
People were saying it's because he sampled. I was like, so many sampled songs have won Grammys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's no such thing. It's nominated.
Beyonce sampled her whole
the
album.
whole, that's what I told the guy. I said the entire Beyonce album was sampled, and I was like, no, it's the genre. And I was like, what? I said, listen, it is what it is. A win is a win.
Yeah, no. Shout out to them though. I mean, we can debate this. It's just on paper and also in the ears. Yeah, it's very clear what the actual biggest African song was last year. But yeah, it is what it is. These awards always be doing some strange things,
Some
but
strange things,
W
and of
is a
course,
W.
we're also going to see a little bit more happening this year, because there will be more award shows. I mean, the nominees
sir.
for the Amapiano Awards have come out. We don't know which Amapiano Awards, because I guess there's always like 2 or 3 different ones. But
Yo, like
I
9.
mean,
Everyone
They
makes
are
their own
mainly
one.
Amapiano awards. Plenty.
plenty. But either way, we're going to see whoever takes it away, and we're going to be there and we'll celebrate them. You know what I mean? All right, so getting into the music for this week, we had a couple of songs that dropped. And of course, just to kind of kick off the year, Youngster CPT with Song of the Year. We had KO with the Forecast 23. We've got some new songs coming through from Dubai and Eskindi featuring Sjava with Etexini, Nasty C with Blackout. Of course, that Costa Titch Akon Big Flexer remix, and Audio Mark Blackie, Zuchi Coke Dope, Walking on Water. So let's kick it off in Cape Town and KO, because both of those are like freestyles, and they're also talking about the year ahead.
Yeah.
So let's kind of, embellish the both of them.
I'm not gonna lie, KO's hard.
He's hard.
Like, wow. And as a foreigner as well,
You're only a foreigner when it suits you. And then you're South African when it suits you.
listen, that's how you're supposed to go through this life. That's how you're supposed
You must
to
pick your moments.
You must pick your battles and your moments.
I'm also South African. Until they say South African men are trash, I'm like, guys, I'm actually Zambian. That's what I'm about.
With a name like Sipo, okay, who grew up in Mafikeng.
I was gonna defend myself by telling you my Zambian name. I was like, you ain't gonna
I'm
catch me
begging
slipping.
you. I am begging you.
They ain't gonna catch me slipping.
I am begging you. Please, bro. Please.
No. Oh no, for real.
It's not gonna happen.
Now I'll tell you in private.
Off air. All right. So as a foreigner, as you were
So
saying,
why I say that, because as much as we might understand the languages, sometimes, like, it can dribble us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, I went to, like, a white high school.
Of course.
So, with KO, I do everything to find out what he's saying.
Okay.
Because if you miss the reference, you won't really get it.
Yeah.
Because that guy does not miss.
Yeah.
Bar for bar is crazy. Shout out.
Shout outs. And youngster CPT?
So I'm not a big fan of his rapping style, but I think he's keen on saying what is on his mind.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to go against, like, giants of the rap game, and that's rap.
Yeah.
Shout out to Youngster, man.
Shout outs to youngster.
My feelings of those tracks, first of all, KO, dope freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Addressing a few things, always there with the puns, with the metaphors, having fun. So the track itself, definitely very dope. I thought about, or what I thought about it. Classic KO, I would say. Nothing, it was nothing shocking or nothing that I thought, whoa, shit. It's exactly, as soon as I hear KO is dropping a freestyle, this is the kind of caliber and level that he comes at with it. So good energy, and but I would say it's something very expected from a KO.
Yeah.
Youngster, I have two things to say about this track. The bad is that I don't like the beat or the chorus.
Bro.
It sounds very, like, clouded. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say, when I first started, I was like, what's going on in the song? But then I heard his verses, and his verses are so dope, and he's addressing some very, he's getting some stuff off his chest in a very dope way. A youngster can definitely rap. Of course, he's got the bars, and he's telling a very nice story in all those 3 verses. And I feel like they deserve a better beat, something a little bit more audible, because it sounds like it's a party track. If you actually don't listen and you hear it somewhere else, it might sound like just a regular ass track. And then you listen to what he's saying, you're like, oh, the beat and what you're saying, it needed maybe something a little bit less rowdy, I would say, and something a little bit more clear. You know, you're gonna hear those tracks where a person has a very clean kind of beat. You know what I'm saying? Just the 808 or whatever, nothing too muddy, because this track is about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're not actually trying to get us to dance or to hope in the club. You actually just want to say, I've got some things to get off my chest. Like the contrast, the freestyle. Yeah. It's not a complicated beat. You go back to it. Even that beat that KO had with, I forget his first single before he dropped his solo album that had that had Kara on it. He dropped a freestyle before he dropped Kara.
Yes, I remember that freestyle. Yeah.
But every other
mission
freestyle,
statement.
yeah, mission statement.
Yes.
I'm saying like that.
Son of a tiger.
You know what I mean?
No, that was a different song, but yeah.
and many other
see
songs
why
like
it's
that where
important.
you're like, I want to say something, so you pick a beat that just kind of sits behind you, and your voice must come a bit in front. This one, Youngster's voice is behind the beat.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't like maybe it's the whole production of it that I don't like. Because what he's saying there, I'm like, that deserves so much. It deserves a better stage than what you've given it in this production.
I think it's also a rapping style, because I've picked up that KO does that, where he obviously does the rapping behind the beat thing. AKA has tried that a couple of times. Youngster's obviously trying that now. So I think it's a new rapping. I could be wrong, but it's what I'm seeing. I'm checking the pattern of what the guys have kind of done. Whether it works or whether it doesn't work, audibly, it's a little bit off, because everybody wants to be on the beat. Yeah. So I get that it's a different style. Maybe you're trying something different, but you know what? It is what it is. With the 2 tracks, KO, I also thought came through with the bars. Obviously got some stuff off his chest, especially because he didn't win Song of the Year. And as well as with Youngster CPT, I do think that they are good songs for what they are, which is freestyles. They are not radio singles. They're not club songs. They're just songs to just get what they needed to get out, and then say, okay, cool, we're moving on. Fans, Here is the singles. So I love the cadences. I love the messages. I loved what they had to say. I love the fact that they can still go in and say, yo, whether I give you an Afrobeat song or I give you a Temple Boys, you are still going to get these raps. Do you know what I mean? So shout outs. All right. Okay, so 2 tracks coming through from Etubane is Kindi featuring Sjava. The track is called Eteksini, and of course Nasty C with Blackout. Well, I mean, he's in Joburg, but you know, Durban born. What do you think of the boys?
Blackout is what you were saying, that offbeat rapping as well. Nasty did bit of some on Blackout, but unbelievable.
Okay.
Guys, Nasty C is lyrical genius.
Yes.
Like, I listened to that song 3 times and you keep missing things. And you go back and you're like, power. Let me go through. Okay, I won't go through the lyrics.
That's cool. But I agree on that track. But I'll let you say about Eteksini as well. The other track. Did you bump that one?
Look. I went past it really quickly.
Okay.
I wasn't really interested in it.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
All right.
Not my style of music.
Is it because you don't understand it?
No, I think I don't understand half of Java's lyrics, but he's amazing the way
Yeah.
he delivers his stuff. I think that one was, like Sipo said, it was again where they were rapping not on the beat or in front of it, they were rapping behind it, and it just felt like a lot of noise
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll start with ethics scene as well, which I just don't like at all.
Yeah.
I didn't
Really?
like. I didn't like.
Yeah.
I just.
I really dig that song.
And it's not hate of the song. I just didn't receive it very well.
Okay.
I didn't like the first several listens of it that I had. I just wasn't feeling the track at all.
Okay.
I wasn't finding anything about it that I was like vibing to. I'm not sure what they were trying to achieve there. You know what I'm saying? Beep, 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 it takes it. And I don't know, man. I just felt like, I don't know. It just felt like, and for his Java as well, a guy who has such a great album out even right now, and I'm saying, who's musically known for doing something a lot better than this. So it just, for me, it threw me off a little bit, and definitely I just didn't like the song at all.
Nice to see.
Nice to see. Blackout loved it.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? From minutes, I probably loved it before I pressed play because I just knew that Nesty was going to deliver. And I like Nesty's style and I like his youthfulness, but he still brings in content in the music. Sometimes you hear him having fun on a track.
He's
and
so playful.
It sounds like it's just a throwaway thing, but
Yeah.
then you hear him speak after, letting the swag of the track die down a little bit, and you're like, oh, he's also saying some dope stuff as well. So I like that track way better.
Do you guys not think that you guys are maybe also looking at the artist and looking at the type of song that it is, and then obviously then saying, oh, because it's nasty, I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't know Skindi, so I'm going to be a little bit harsh on it?
No,
I disagree.
actually, I love discovering new music. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? And there's lots of artists that I can, just based on this, and I knew coming off the bat of this now, that's what I'm saying about it, I just didn't like that track.
Okay.
But I can give, like you can both say there's nothing whack about pretty much any of his Java's albums or music that
Yeah.
he puts out. So he's just not a whack guy.
But
I really
But-
enjoyed the song. I think for me, I thought it was playful. I thought it was obviously just speaking to kind of the topic at hand, obviously about ethics scene and how they played with the different sounds. It also kind of created a visual for me listening to the song. And what I enjoyed about Java's part as well was the fact that he wasn't trying to come in with his typical Afro-pop type of sound, but rather coming in from his rap perspective, where he is a little bit more playful, a little bit more hard when it comes to what he was doing on that song. So I enjoyed Java's chorus. I also enjoyed Skindi because he reminds me a little bit more of the gems that Durban has in their raps that I don't think we've kind of unearthed more than we should have. So I think that's why for me, I see the potential and I see how it can be sold a little bit more to everybody else. Nessie, of course, 100%. It's a given. Really dope song, firepower, and I also like the fact that he was having fun. It was a little bit more chilled as opposed to more structured. Because sometimes you can have like really structured songs, and then this one was more, I'm just letting it out and seeing where it goes. You know, so dig that. Yeah, man. And of course, we do have the Costa Titch Akon Big Flexer remix, and the last song as our audio Mark Blackie and Zuchi Coke Dope with Walking on Water.
Zuchi Coke boy.
Zuchi Coke Dope.
Zuchi, Ivan, let me tell you, I was bumping that song the entire morning. He is crazy.
Yeah.
He is crazy, and I don't think we give him enough depths.
Yeah.
Like, music-wise, sound-wise, words-wise, delivery, he says some really cold things. And, like, he sounds international. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, that guy needs to get his flowers. It's
Okay.
a hard song, eh?
Yeah.
It's a hard song.
I thought so too. It's a very dope song. I thought, and Zuchi on production, I mean, he just doesn't falter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you even listening to the track, and I love it when you bumping it, and first it's like you appreciate the production and the you know what I'm saying, how good it sounds in your ear. Then you're bumping it again, and you're now trying to get, okay, is everybody else complimenting it with the verses and what they're saying, and because there's always these layers to his production. You know what I'm saying? It's not just stop and end to a chorus and the verse and whatever. You know, he's great with bridges. You know what I'm saying? So it's all. I thought it was a very, very dope jam, and I think it's probably gonna. I don't know how new the song is, but I think it's gonna do something.
Yeah, it just dropped last week.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna have a nice moment.
Yeah.
I think it deserves it at
It
least.
does.
I enjoyed it as well, and I loved to see Audio Mark also moving away from working with Nasty. I mean, it's obviously it makes sense why he releases a lot of songs with him, because I mean he's Nasty's DJ, so I get why. But I think also just for him to create his own identity and for him to create his own type of sound and move as a producer and as a DJ on his own. I like that Nasty is not featured on the song, number one. But I also dig the production, Zuchi, and how he comes through. Blackie, obviously impeccable. So just it literally feels like you're walking on water. So shout outs to the boys for putting on a really dope production. And of course, Akon and his verse on the Big Flex remix. That's also out. Do you like Akon's little?
Guys, I like it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
His little addition.
Like I played it once and then I was underwhelmed and then I said no, I'm gonna play this again.
Yes.
And I listened to it. Listen, he went with the whole reggae thing at the second verse. He went on twice. Whatever he was doing at the end there, guys, it was nice.
Yeah.
And I can imagine how Americans and those people, they're gonna absorb it.
Yes.
Because he didn't give us our sound. He gave us their sound.
Yeah.
So like he's not coming to like try sound like us. He's bringing that sound, so it's going to be so international, that song. I believe in that song.
Shout outs. I also think it's going to take it to the top. I think the Big Flex remix is really dope. And I think they are going to shoot the lights out. I'm sitting here just watching, I'm going to be literally a fly on the wall and watch Costa take over the world.
It's going to be crazy, guys.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I think it's very interesting what you're saying, the way Akon came onto the track, because I kept wondering as well when they told us that the track is going to drop and whatnot, which angle Akon would come into this track. You know what I'm saying? Because at first it felt like, I don't know, but he seems to have found a great fit into that jam. And how he elevates it, I guess, will be in terms of the markets where they try to market the song, where it might be received, whether it's African markets mostly or in America, I'm not sure. I like that Akon embraced this track, first of all, and I saw the video as well, and I like that he was, even in the video, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Akon dance before, but you see him doing that dance.
Yeah. He doesn't have a choice.
I saw him do that, and I'm like, okay, they got the big homie.
I'm surprised they didn't write him a Zulu verse.
You know what I mean? I'm surprised as well. Trust me. But yeah, I'm glad to see Akon embrace this new relationship he has with Costa in that way, even going through with the video, because he's my older guy. You know, I can see he's not being like grumpy and be like, hey, look, I'm gonna be in the video, but I won't do the dances. You know, I'm not that type of guy. But he's clearly bought into the entire concept of the song and the artist as well. So shout out to them for that part.
And the music video is out, so at least, you know, he came through and he did everything from the feature to the collaboration to the music video. He's given him everything, and I think he's going to take it to the top. So shout outs to the team, man. And of course, shout outs to you, Shama is Shama.
Thank you,
sir,
for joining us on the POPcast for today.
Shout out, guys. It was great. I was a bit nervous in the beginning.
Why?
I'm not really a fan of talking behind the camera. I'm a bit shy. Nobody believes me because I talk a lot. Yes. But I'm a very shy person, like internally. But this was nice. Thanks for
what
having
a
me, guys.
liar. Where can people find you on social media?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Shama is Shama. Shama, CHAMA_IS_SHAMA. You can find me in all the high-end nightclubs.
Yes.
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Is that not like a conspiracy? You're not allowed to work for all of them?
Yeah, everyone but me.
He's the only promoter with the exception to the rule.
Yes, I made an exception to the rule. But no, generally you can find me Montana, Rockets, Sumo, Opera, Nostra, you know, all Monarch. The high-end ones.
Okay.
You
know? Shout out.
Is there anything that you're planning special for this year or that you're looking forward to locally?
Locally, we're still getting around that because, as you know, like our budget's kicking around like March.
Yeah.
So most of the people are still in planning right now.
Yeah.
But like, there's going to be big things this year because like the country's opening. That's why it's important to have like Costa Titch and such features.
Yes.
He's going to go that side. He's going to bring some guys this side.
Yeah.
And he's going to take some guys that side.
100%.
And that works for us. That works for our events because we have more superstars. I think we're lacking superstars in this country.
Yeah.
We're lacking a lot of like superstar power, and I'm encouraging people to like
go for more.
Go for it. Like we have social media. We have like so many tools for you to like push your own brand. Like don't wait for things, you know.
Yeah,
like
go for it.
We're looking for it. A lot of people ask me like, "Yo, can you book me?" I'm like, "I can, but what does that offer me?"
Yeah,
you know. And like, what the entertainment industry needs is people who are sure of themselves, people who respect their talent and their brands, not just their talent. You have to be both.
1000%, man. And a big shout outs to our venue again. The last alpaca come through. It's in Greenside. Of course, you're gonna come through for the cocktails, the hubblies, the sunshine. It's all a vibe out here. Moochie. catch you again next week, my brother.
Shout out. And it is Valentine's Day today. So, you know,
Yeah,
happy
are you
Valentine's
guys gonna-
Day to you and yours watching this right now. I hope you've had a great Valentine's
What did you plan for the one baby?
For the one baby, you know, I gotta take the baby outside. You know, I gotta clean up, I'm gonna get a haircut after this, gotta look nice.
Yes, indeed. And for you who are celebrating Valentine's, happy Valentine's Day. Keep on liking, subscribing, and commenting. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what more you want to see on the channel. Of course, Popcast Goes to the Drip Check episode is going to be dropping on Thursday, so make sure you check that out. And we'll be back next week.
Cheers.